I looked at the standings, and I understand there's a lot of questions, but it says 2-0 for the Philadelphia Eagles. It says they've played 2 games and they've won them both. And we want things instantly in this world. Perfect example. Last night, just 12 minutes into the Philadelphia Eagles' home schedule, an NFC championship won in front of them last year. We saw the Eagles damn near win the Super Bowl. We saw them survive New England, which is tough to do. Doesn't matter what you got going in. 12 minutes in to last night's game, lustily booing the Eagles. Were they fans of the Philadelphia Eagles? Just raining down boos.
It was kind of a garbage game in the first half.
Dude, it does. Come on.
4 quarters.
What do you mean? They looked awful.
They want. It's just. That's my perfect point. You want it like now. It's going to take time. Their offensive coordinator is sitting in Indianapolis trying to figure out what to do without Jonathan Taylor. They're going to try and figure out what is going on. Defenses play a certain way. You had 8 guys dropping out. So what did they do? They just, unfortunately, couldn't turn any of these turnovers early on into points. And they wound up matriculating the ball down the field and jamming DeAndre Swift down the throats of the Minnesota Vikings. And I guess, yeah, they didn't look great in the first quarter. So you're going to boo them?
We're playing the preseason so you don't look like crap in the first 2 weeks.
I know you're riding that train. DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield, $175, 28 carries. And this guy, on the draft night when he's acquired, and I mean, you thought that the Lions, clearly having Jahmyr Gibbs in their house now, didn't need him anymore, couldn't, they're going to flip him out there. And then when he went to the Eagles, you're like, okay.
Of course.
Beast.
How many Georgia Bulldogs can they possibly get, either drafting or acquiring on a draft night? And all it took was just 2 games for them to just ride him. The lead back 28 carries, including a whole bunch on a final drive that it didn't look like they would need because they were up 27-7 in this game in the third quarter. And the Vikings came back, and the Vikings did what they usually do in the second half, which is put points on the board. Sure enough, they needed a 16-play drive to wrap it up, and that's what they did. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Eagles are less than. You can see last year what they looked at the end, and you can see what they are now. And to your point, Chris, they do look choppy. It doesn't look all that great. They are giving up some touchdowns on defense. They are giving up 2 touchdowns to Kendrick Bourne in week 1, and then you watched KJ Osborne be wide open in an end zone. You saw Justin Jefferson doing his thing. Jordan Addison taking the top of the defense off. And I just feel that defensively they'll tighten these bolts and they're going to get home on some people. But they're 2-0. That's all you need. And all I needed to see is what this offensive line is doing. If you have an offensive line that can road grade and dominate a game when you need it, that's going to give you some more wins than losses in this league. And you saw the benefits of that last night. 259 yards rushing, 48 carries. That's what the Eagles can do. And I know A.J. Brown was frustrated. I get it. Trust me, I have Dallas Goedert in fantasy. 2 weeks in, I'm wondering, when is he going to get the football? A.J. Brown, it appeared last night, was wondering the same thing. Sideline stuff just 2 weeks in. After last season, I'd be a little concerned about that. But it's one of those things where they said we're going to keep it in-house and we're all good. And Jalen Hurts said he's a good teammate and a friend and what have you. But it is definitely something that, to
keep an eye on.
Just put a pin in it. Put a pin in that. Because right now, 2-0, and the Philadelphia Eagles next will be coming your way on Monday night. A nice 11-day respite for them at Tampa as part of the Week 3 finale doubleheader. There's a doubleheader of Monday night games this week and Week 3 as well. So They're 2-0 with a proverbial winnable game coming up in week number 3. After that, Philadelphia takes on Washington at home, out here against the Rams, and then they're the latest team in week 6 that's going to be presumably going against Zach Wilson. Not concerned. Not concerned. Neither is Jalen Hurts. This is what he had to say after the game about the offense as we saw it last night, sputtering in the first half, needing a 61-yarder. You know?
Damn, that was impressive.
Off of Elliott's foot to get it through the uprights to take a 13-7 lead, you know, getting the benefits of what I call the stupid-ass rule that Brockman loves. Fumbling through the end zone. Well, if only Justin Jefferson had the wherewithal of fumbling the ball, reaching for the goal line, and having it fortunately go out of bounds at the 1-inch line. But instead it went out on the other side of the pylon and he lost it.
If only he was coached up to not reach for the pylon.
Which Belichick does. So, long story short, this is what Jalen Hurts had to say about the offense after the game last night.
We set the precedent for how things are supposed to look. And that's the funny thing that makes me chuckle. Because we set the precedent for how things are supposed to look, and you see all these beautiful balls down the field and all these big-time plays, but we rushed for 255 yards. You know, they didn't stop that. And that's a testament to the O-line, the way DeAndre ran the ball and other guys when they ran the ball and they had their opportunities. But winning looks a ton of different ways, you know, and I say winning is the only thing that matters. Winning is truly the only thing that matters.
Well, and A.J. Brown, I will just say this. Clearly, the two teams they played so far went into the game saying he's not beating us. Mm-hmm. And Devontae Smith showed what happens if you focus on that. If you focus on that and you focus on putting 8 deep so Jalen Hurts holds on to the ball, maybe you hit him enough, and he's getting hit too. That would be another thing I'd be concerned about. That's my rational way of looking at the Thursday night kickoff by not having an overreaction to it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.